What's up? Okay, we should be on.
Yeah.
Hello. I think we're on. I don't see us on TBC yet.
I see us on there.
Okay, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, we are live. Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Michelle, and we are here for our live voter series.
Hi.
And I've got some guests with me, so I'm going to turn the mic over to our guests, and we're going to keep everybody pretty excited for the next 30 minutes. What do you think?
I hope so. My name is Ann. I'm Ann Logan. I want to say a shout out to my husband, Jesse, and to my son, Gary, who is a first-time voter. This is going to be an experience, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Rufus.
All right.
Okay.
Am I up next?
Yeah, you're up next.
All right. Hey, how's everybody? My name is Rufus F. Mobley III from Dayton, Ohio, originally. I want to thank Dr. Michelle and Ann for inviting me to this wonderful thing. I want to give a shout out to my lovely wife and friends, frat brothers, everybody, you know, who are across the land. But more importantly, all the lovely people who go Bucks. Buckeye born, bred, and true. Buckeye born, bred, and true.
Oh, shameless plug. Hey, now you're a member of the Divine Nine. Now, you know Divine Nine. I want to know how many people in the audience, because we can see your feedback. How many of you had on your black and your pearls today? I want to know from the Divine Nine who did that today. So hopefully you guys were representing. Oh, 0 noobs. Okay. We're going to start off maybe with some trivia. And I'm going to challenge the people in my audience, because I know I've got some mathematicians out there. So I'm going to hold this jar up. It's red, white, and blue gumballs. So hold on. Okay. Here is my gumball. Everybody see my gumballs?
Okay.
Okay, now I want people, because you can actually enter comments, if you can tell me how many gumballs are in this container. These are election gumballs. And if you're local, I'll try to see about getting this to you. So all you grandmas out there, you know you got grandbabies that want these gumballs. So you want to guess how many are in this container. Okay, red, white, and blue gumballs. You'll be a hit with all your friends at the office if you got gumballs sitting on your desk. What do you think? So we'll see. Okay, let's start with some trivia here, because I think we got to lighten the group up a little bit. Who was the first president to pardon a turkey?
Well, I found out unofficially it was Abraham Lincoln, but officially it was JFK.
Right, JFK. And you know what? He was so cold-blooded. I think the turkey had a sign around his neck, didn't it, when he pardoned him, and he said, "Good eating, Mr. President." So yeah.
Okay.
55 pounds.
I'm glad you said that. Then who was the first Catholic president that we had?
Ooh.
Yeah, come on now.
Now I would have said JFK.
Absolutely, you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
There we go.
Back at you, tossing.
Okay, so we got 1 for 1. You got one.
I'm done with that one.
Okay, who was the youngest elected president? I
would have thought it was Kennedy, but I think it was actually Theodore Roosevelt.
Okay, the youngest elected was JFK.
JFK.
He was 43.
Okay.
Okay, so who was the oldest elected president?
Trump. All I got to say about
Trump.
Oh, you guys are funny.
Oh gosh.
We'll let it go.
Okay, I'm gonna get a little harder now. Who was the only sitting president who was vice president and he was president, but he wasn't elected?
Vice president.
So he served as president and vice president without being elected to either office.
Was that Lyndon B. Johnson?
Gerald Ford.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Gerald Ford. I mean, you said elected?
He was not elected. He's
Oh,
the
not
only
elected.
president to serve as a vice president and a president, and he wasn't elected to either office. I thought that was interesting.
Okay. Did anybody else out there in blogger land get it right? That's what I want to know. Did anybody
Yeah,
else out there?
I'm trying to make it hard now. I can't make it too easy for people now. We can't make it too.
Well, wait a minute. Let's
Okay.
discuss
I have
this one.
more.
Okay, let's
Okay,
discuss this one now. What happened? Wasn't Kennedy? Which one was killed? Kennedy was killed, and Lyndon Johnson came in.
But
Correct.
wasn't Johnson at some point? He was appointed president, but he was elected
Right.
vice president that time. This
Correct.
Gerald was never elected as vice, and he was never elected as president. The tricky word is elected.
I
Elected.
know.
Okay. Okay. How many? Okay. Now this one, this statistic really shocked me. On average, how many registered voters usually participate? What percentage of registered voters participate in the general election on average?
45%.
A little high. It's higher.
No, well, I would say
Still
more
shocking.
about 30, 39. I would say about 40, no more than 40.
60%, but that's still horrible.
Sure is.
And actually, they're saying in some of the midterms elections, only about 25 to 26% of people participate, and the mayoral elections only about 10%. So imagine that when a person is walking around saying, "I was duly elected."
Wow.
So that's
Hey,
why it's probably
look.
really important to vote.
Look, at this juncture, a win is a win, whether you win by 1 or win by 1,000,000.
We're going to find that out shortly.
Which we definitely are. You got your attorney ready?
Okay, now I'm gonna pick both of your brains. Okay, what besides the presidential results, Rufus, since you're not in the local area, what's been the hottest race in your area? Because you know, tell us your area and what's been the hottest race there.
Actually, we're up in Maryland, and I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot of people been jumping out there, particularly at early voting. This has been a hot, of course, because I'm in the DMV. It's a pretty hot contested issue for the nation, but more importantly, just for every local municipality, it's gotten to be pretty good. It's exciting. Some folks will probably say a lot of folks have felt anxiety. Some people have even cut off their TVs because they don't want to know the results. But I think it's great. I think it's exciting, and I think bottom line, I just hope all of us got out to vote, and that's the bottom line. It's been early voting went quite well up here in this area. It went quite well. It only took us about all of a total about 5 minutes to go in, and we were already going to our polls and scanning our stuff in and done. We were done.
Wow. And what race are you watching locally?
I think it's Timms versus Turner.
Yeah.
The issues in our in Trotwood, because our mayor, we voted for our mayor maybe at the first of the year, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's the signs that I see in our neighbor, which is Trotwood, is Timms versus Turner. That's about all we see.
That's gonna be a hot race. I think everybody's watching that one. Yeah, he was
Mhm.
calling her what DC Desiree, and I'm like, he's been in DC too. So
see up here for us, because he's always been an incumbent. Dutch Ruthersberger he's been our Senate representative. He's been pretty strong for the last umpteen years, as long as I've known, and he's tried to come out to support the people. So although we have a Republican governor, who has done some dynamic things, but also on the same stance. A lot of the Democrats, a lot of folks right now are engaged on this national race, not taking nothing from and then there's been some other amendments, questions and amendments that have been on the ballot that have been being tackled out, for stuff from a local county perspective. So it's been pretty good.
So let's talk about COVID, because I don't think we can talk about this election without talking about COVID. And I guess you can kind of start us off. What impact do you think COVID-19 has had on the election?
Well, from my perspective, I work in a pulmonary department with one of the other members of our church, Nanette Isaac. And I tell you, there is just so many issues that, you're looking at people that would have voted but can't. You're looking at the fact that their family members are not voting because they're concerned about the people that are in the hospital. So I think COVID has a huge impact on this election, because if we can't get our minds off of the fact that this is something that we have no idea what it is, we have little idea how to treat it, and there's nothing that we can do at this point that we can take that's gonna, ease our pain or even give us a vaccine. So I think it's if people had an opportunity to focus more on the election and not on the sickness or what's going on, that I think we might have had more people out voting.
Okay. Rufus, what do you
impact?
I think that's pretty insightful, man. Rufus?
It's kind of interesting that you put that in that perspective, man, because another thing that I've thought of from my own personal perspective is I think it's had an impact with the election. I'm looking at from the standpoint of college students. A lot of the college students, a lot of them would have already been in school at this juncture. Some would have done a lot of absentee balloting, but now that a lot of them are doing virtual classes from home, that's had an impact as well, too, with a lot of these students. So they have the opportunity now to actually go do early voting or voting as of today. So I think that's had an impact as well, too, that's coupled with COVID.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, I early voted, actually did the mail-in ballots, and it was a really good experience, but I understand in some areas it's not been such a good experience, because you really have to follow that ballot through. You can't just fill it out and not follow up and make sure that it's actually gone through the system, been processed, and been counted. So it was good for me to be able to show everybody in my household these ballots not only made it to the County Board of Elections, but they were actually counted. And I hope people really follow through, because you weren't done just by mailing it or even by placing it in that ballot box. You need to make sure that there weren't any problems with it. Did any of you experience any challenges with early voting or mailing or anything?
I can tell you now, I did not experience none of what Harris County, other counties have probably experienced, like in Texas and other locations. Mine was very painless. Was able to go to a elementary school, looking at the peak hours for the most optimum time to go voting. So like I said, it was really easy for us, from the standpoint of early voting. We just went straight in. Obviously, COVID processes and protection, social distancing procedures were pretty well in place. The folks there were very cordial, keeping everybody at a social distance and wearing masks, but also and you had an option. If you wanted to wait 10 to 15 minutes for to do electronically, which they had some booths put up, but then the vast majority of them were pencil fill in, and then you scan it in, which is the route that I took. And it was effortlessly. It was painless, very quick too.
Now, did you see a lot of people with their masks on? I'm making a shameless plug for Montgomery County. Did people have their masks on, or did you see?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, absolutely. You had to.
And I
As
should
a
have
matter
put
of
it right
fact,
away. Yeah.
as a matter of fact, you had to have your mask on before even entering the elementary school. So that all the protocols were in place. The staff, the judges, everybody. No one was walking around without not wearing a mask. So that was definitely the protocols were very stringent, which I can respect. I can say I applauded them for doing that. So we were pretty well taken care of.
Okay, well, I got to put this up again for my people that are still trying to guess. Okay. Now, I know I got some mathematicians out there, so you're gonna have to post how many gumballs you think are in here. I know how many gumballs.
Keep
You want
turning
me
it.
to shake it? Turn it this way.
Turn it. Yeah. There you go. So we can see.
Can you at least give us can you give us a swag?
Can you show us the bottom?
The bottom. See, Ann's a mathematician. Here we go. So for all my math whizzes out there, how many gumballs are in this? Say, I'll show it to you in relationship to the size of my head. Okay, so nobody make any jokes. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, that's our gumball guess.
Okay.
Okay, let's find out. Okay, what are you guys expecting from our elected president? Because we don't know who that'll be until after the returns start coming in tonight. What are you going to expect to see in the first 90 days?
Well, let me go back and tell you a real quick story the other day. My husband and I went to get some gas out in Trotwood, and he's notorious for forgetting his mask. And he went in the store, and this guy walked up on him, and he said, 6 feet away, sir, you don't have a mask on. You don't have a mask on. And the man looked at him, he said, well, you don't have one on either. I said, oh, I didn't know that. So he's in a fight, in an argument with a man for not wearing a mask, but he didn't have his on either. He forgot it was in the car. So when you said that, that people were voting with their mask and what have you, and I thought that was excellent, because there are a lot of people out there that are still not wearing.
No, or they're doing and this isn't, or they're doing this, you see them out like this with their nose out. That's not wearing a mask.
That's not wearing a mask.
Well, I can tell you, no matter who gets in, as we don't know the what's going to happen after the end of the night, but the bottom line, COVID will still be with us no matter what. It's still going to exist. There are going to be more people that die. I'm going to go with, I respect the scientific approach from the way Dr. Anthony Fauci has approached it. I got a lot of respect for what he has validated for us over, because it's all about, and you and Michelle have been living in that world of metrics. Bottom line, the metrics tell the truth, whether you're young, old, middle age. Bottom line, this is a dangerous virus, and it's killing people. And if people want to go out there and think that it's not, I'm gonna tell you, they're wearing a heavy cost on themselves and their loved ones.
I think that was a big issue with the election this year. I think people, when you wanted a national response, and when we saw all these rallies with people, and I always was just kind of watching some of them on the news, and you saw so many people without masks, or they weren't socially distancing. And I think at some point, I've heard that people have actually said they could track how many illnesses and actually how many deaths were attributed to many of these rallies. And I'm thinking, when are people going to start paying attention that this is real?
That contact tracing is real. They showed how it impacted folks who were up at that bike rally up in the Dakotas or Montana that they have every year. They showed where all of it hit into the Midwest. It's real. That contact tracing is a big impact. It can hit anybody.
Well, I'm hoping in the next 90 days, and that was probably start in January after the inauguration, I really want to see them focus on some of the environmental concerns that have been ignored. I mean, we still have people that don't have clean water. And I mean, that's just a basic service for your citizen. I think healthcare, we're one of the richest countries in the world, on the globe, and we still have people that are wondering if they're going to have healthcare.
Mhm.
And I know that people think, when you try to take care of the least of these, that's socialism, but that's just a basic godly principle,
Right.
to care about the least of these. And, there's going to always be the least of these as long as the people that have power and resources don't care about those individuals. So I'm hoping that whoever assumes that office starts looking at everybody having the same value and the same worth, and not looking at the color of your skin or your ethnicity or your neighborhood, and really try to shore up some of these areas, because I think those are going to be huge concerns, and not just at the presidential level, the local level. I'm looking, investments that are being made. I'm excited that locally we're seeing investments being made in this region, and I think it's long overdue. It's long overdue.
Mhm.
And it is in fact, it is a challenge for all of us, because last time I checked, we were all Americans. We're all Americans, and we all need to have the same equal rights and liberty as our neighbors. We hope and pick up each other. We respond to adversity in a lot of different ways, in varying degrees. But the fact is, we're all still part of the United States of America, and we're that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're
So how are you
trying.
guys? So are you both going to watch the returns tonight? What's your plan?
Watch for a little while.
I'm gonna watch it for a little while. I anticipated. It's going to be a while, because there's already been on the news that some folks aren't even going to start to open up other ballots until starting tomorrow,
Right.
and in Pennsylvania and some other places. So I anticipate, if I was the betting man, unless it's a win by one or the other, I think it's going to be several days of not going to the first week of December.
Okay, I'm going to put you both on the spot. What's your guess, Ann?
250.
Okay, and what's your guess, Rufus?
I'm gonna say 325.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
240. And get out.
Those balls
Really?
are pretty big.
You ain't lying.
I was trying to get you to show me the bottom, because it probably had the number on the bottom, didn't it? No?
Okay, everybody out there, if you need. Wow, Ann. I'm impressed.
Don't be.
Yes.
That was just a wild guess.
Hey, before we close out, I want to give you guys any final words you want to tell our audience out there, our voters. You guys have been great.
Well, I want to say, to all my family members out there, if you haven't voted, it's a little bit too late. But I want you to know that, whatever happens after this is over, we have to fight the good fight. And as I told Michelle earlier, I was so militant when I came up as a young person. I wanted to go to Washington, D.C. to be with the Black Panthers and what have you. My parents found out my plans and they would not allow me to go, but I just want equality for everybody. I mean, I look at the Indians and how they don't have clean water. And years ago, I saw something on TV the other day that was saying that when Ireland didn't have what they needed, the Indians came in and helped them, and they showed them how to grow potatoes and what have you. So on a, where they go in and they give you so much money on the internet, I can't think of the process. But anyway, the people from Ireland are now trying to help the American Indian just have clean water and food and what have you. And I think it's awesome. And I think we all should do the same thing. Just jump in and everybody help each other after this election is over, because everyone's going to need it.
Wow. Great comments. Rufus?
Well, bottom line, the East Coast folks, you got about 2 more minutes. to get into your voting, into that voting line. As far as folks on the West Coast and Central Standard Time, Daylight Saving Time, you still got some time to go out there to vote.
That's
Bottom
right.
line, everyone, your vote counts. Don't think that your vote does not count. No matter which way you're going, the vote counts. So please go out and do your due diligence. If you don't vote, then you can't complain. If you don't vote, you can't complain.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying to you as a final remark. Peace.
Thank you, everybody. I want to thank everybody that tuned in. And Ann, you have magic. I don't know what to tell you. Thank you, Rufus, all the way from Maryland.
All right.
Everybody have a great, gracious night, and watch the returns tonight. Should be interesting. Have a good night.
Stay safe, everyone. Stay safe.
Bye. Bye.